Guys, I've gotten a little older, and as I get older, I get a little softer, I get a little fatter, I get a little lazier, and I think that that's okay, but it's not okay because it's easier to not be that way thanks to Ageless Male Max. Ageless Male Max. They've got a patent-pending formula with an ingredient that's going to boost your total testosterone, that increases greater muscle size and twice the reduction in body fat percentage than exercise alone. They've got an amazing 64% increase in nitric oxide, which can be handy in the gym and in the bedroom. Take your manhood to the max, guys. Try your first 30-day bottle for free. All you have to do is pay shipping and handling. Not 10 days, not 15 days. A full 30-day supply for free when you text the word PRIME, P-R-I-M-E, to 797979. Finally, a formula that boosts total testosterone. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. For your free bottle, text PRIME, P-R-I-M-E, to 797979. That's PRIME to 797979. Message and data rates may apply. Let's start Notsam Wrestling.
This is Notsam Wrestling.
Introducing your host from New York, here is Sam Roberts.
Man, there's just wrestling stuff happening all the time. All the time. There's other stuff going down. Who knows? Things are moving so quickly these days. It really is incredible. Welcome to Notsam Wrestling. I think we're at episode 207, I think. Special episode this week. I'll get into it. A lot to go over. A lot to talk about. It's been a busy week. Now, I'll tell you, this is a very special episode because today we're going to all get to listen to the 200th episode spectacular that went down at Caroline's on Broadway here in New York City over the summer. Today, you're going to get to hear Dalton Castle. You're going to get to hear Bruce Prichard. You're going to get to hear Corey Graves. You're going to get to hear Pat McAfee. Guys that came out and supported the show. I appreciate all of you guys that came out and supported the show. And all you guys and girls that are going to be here on the podcast this week listening to the podcast version of that big spectacular. I'm very, very excited. You get a lot of insight, a lot of very hilarious stories, and it was a loosey-goosey feeling, you know? It was a night show. Might be some language thrown in here and there. But, you know, it was a fun night. It was a fun night, and I wanted to share it with you. And we will share it with you. Now, I will tell you there's no State of Wrestling this week, and that's because I'm out of town this week. And there was no option. I thought this was a better option than doing what we did when I was in Europe and finding a hotel room to try to piece together a State of Wrestling type segment. You know, I'm taking Jess to Disney World for her birthday for the week. Well, not the full week, but for the time that I would be recording this. So that's why I decided to put together this special for you. So before we get into the live special with Corey Graves, Pat McAfee, Dalton Castle, and Bruce Prichard, I will tell you that I went deep into Super Showdown. Super Showdown, all my thoughts that spilled out of me. I woke up early on Saturday morning, 5 a.m. East Coast time, and watched Super Showdown. I did doze off for some of the middle part, so I had to go back in the afternoon and watch the part that I missed. But what I did do is I got together with Peter Rosenberg, and he and I did a full hour-plus long podcast strictly about Super Showdown and what we thought of the show. If you haven't heard it yet, you can hear it at patreon.com/NotSamWrestling. All of the Not Sam shills at every level have access to hear that show. We're doing a lot of stuff over there. You know, we're keeping this podcast independent. There's no bigger brand over this podcast, and that's important to me. It came up. You know, I've spoken to various companies. I won't say which ones, but it's come up in the past, and I go, you know, I want to keep doing things the way we're doing it. And the reason we're able to do that is through the great advertisers and through you, Not Sam Shills. The Not Sam Shill community is becoming just that, a community. We've got a great Discord room. If you download the Discord app and you're Not Sam Shill, the link is right there on the Patreon. And any wrestling show that's on, people are super active in it. Even when there's no wrestling shows on, it's just active all the time. It makes me really, really happy. I'm always lurking in there. So I enjoy that very much. Every level Patreon person, not Sam Schill, is able to get into the Discord room. We also do videos early and sometimes exclusively for the second tier, the indie darling people. We do live video and bonus videos that are only available for the superstar level, not Sam Shills. And there's exclusive merch and free access to Not Sam live events for the Hall of Fame level, not Sam Shills. But I listen to you guys on Patreon, and I want to create the best experience possible for all of you guys. And I know the one thing that I get asked about more than anything else is when are the captive audience shows going to be available for the Not Sam Shills at patreon.com/NotSamWrestling. And I'll tell you, this is the week we're going to do it. This week, I will start. They may already be there by the time you're listening to this. I'm going to start uploading the old episodes of Captive Audience and new episodes. So there's a promise that anybody who's a Not Sam Shill on Patreon is going to get 2 bonus shows every week. Well, one or both of those bonus shows could be a Captive Audience show, but I'm telling you right now, the old episodes that are going up, none of them count to that too. Those are all just bonus extra content that's going to be available at patreon.com/NotSamWrestling. Of course, we already did one bonus show for Super Showdown, so we'll do another brand new one and start uploading all the old Captive Audience shows this month. I'm very, very excited about that. Now, I think to me, the biggest takeaways from Super Showdown, a few days now, almost a week removed, is everybody talking about John Cena's hair, of course. And the fact that I feel like Super Showdown really was the transitional moment for when we see John Cena more as an actor who pops back into wrestling than a wrestler who's popping up in movies. You know, I think John Cena is fully making the transition into acting. And it's really interesting that they said on commentary, and I believe it, that he's spending most of his time in China. And I don't know if that has to do with his personal life. I don't know if that has to do with the fact that, you know, he was a top WWE superstar and about to marry Nikki Bella, and then all of a sudden he's a single guy again and not wrestling all the time, and maybe he just needs a change of scenery, or maybe he's doing business over there, or whatever it is. It's the first time we've seen John Cena in a position where I believe wrestling is secondary in his life. I think he gave us over 10 years of a guy who put the WWE as the top thing in his life, which is more than most people who go through that company. I mean, think about it. The company that you work for or the school that you go to, that's not the number one thing in your life for the most part. John Cena made his work the number one thing in his life, and we all benefited from it. So it's mixed. It's a little bit of a mixed bag when you see John Cena starting to transition out, because who's going to be there to take that mantle? Who on the main roster is going to completely put WWE, not just wrestling, but WWE first above everything else in their life? It's a very, very rare thing. And that's one of the reasons why John Cena was so special, because he did put WWE first above everything else in his life. So it'll be interesting, really, really interesting to see how that transition goes. And speaking of Nikki Bella, I'm really, really interested. I'm taping this technically, it's before Raw of this week. So I don't know. I'm assuming that this week on Raw we'll get further into the story of the Bellas and Ronda Rousey, but it really seems like the Bellas are going to turn heel. And if they turn heel, boy, do I really hope that Divas faction that I've been talking about for the last couple weeks on this show becomes a reality. I just think, you know, having a Raw Women's Survivor Series match where it's the female WWE superstars versus the WWE Divas would be amazing. I think that they would do it in a way that they're trying to empower the Divas and trying to say that the Divas are part of the women's revolution. But, you know, the messaging has been so clear for so long. I think all of us would buy into the fact that they're heels. So I'm very, very excited about that. I think that we're going to have to jump right in to Evolution and to Crown Jewel. You know, they just made the announcement at the time of this recording that Crown Jewel is actually being moved in Saudi Arabia. It's still going to go down in Saudi Arabia, but it's being moved from a 65,000-seat stadium, which is, you know, slightly smaller. I think Camping World in Orlando, the Citrus Bowl, did somewhere in the 70,000 neighborhood. So just slightly smaller. We're moving from something that is just slightly smaller than the Citrus Bowl to a 25,000 seat arena, which that is just slightly bigger than Madison Square Garden. So it's a pretty big step down. I don't know if that has to do with tickets being sold. I don't know what they didn't really say what that has to do with, but it's really, really interesting that it's only the second Saudi show. And instead of doing a stadium show, it's an arena show. It seems like a weird thing to go all the way to Saudi for an arena show, but it is what it is. I think AJ Styles, the lineup looks strong. Matter of fact, the lineup for this show looks stronger. It looks stronger than Super Showdown, and it might even be stronger than the Greatest Royal Rumble. If you're talking about Braun versus Brock versus Roman Reigns, AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the title, and potentially Shawn and Triple H versus The Undertaker and Kane, with Shawn coming out of retirement, that's about the biggest lineup we've had all year, if that is what the lineup looks like. So, they're still going all chips in on this show. And I'm looking forward to it. I guess it'll be another Friday afternoon show in the States, if they're doing it on the same day of the week. I don't know for sure, but we'll do something fun for it, that's for sure. We have Evolution coming up in probably 3 weeks. And then a week after that, Crown Jewel. And then 3 weeks after that, Survivor Series. And then, dude, I can't believe how fast time's going. 3 weeks after that is Survivor Series. Then we've got one pay-per-view in December. Then we're at the Royal Rumble, and we're already headed to WrestleMania 35 in New York. It's amazing how quickly things are going. And that probably has to do a lot with how many big shows there are now. Not only do you have a big four, but Money in the Bank is being positioned as a big five. And you've got at least, between the two WrestleManias, 3 giant international shows just that have been announced. Who knows if they're going to sneak in one more before April. And Evolution as the giant first ever women's pay-per-view. There's never been a time in history where WWE was running at a pace like this. Pretty unbelievable. Pretty unbelievable. Let's get in to the special attraction of this week's show. This week, we go to Caroline's on Broadway. This happened SummerSlam week. It happened live in front of the audience. And now it happens for you, Notsam Wrestling podcast listeners. Pat McAfee was there. Corey Graves was there. Dalton Castle was there. Bruce Prichard was there. Everybody got together to celebrate the transition that we made from Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast to Not Sam Wrestling, and the 200 episodes that we had done prior to this. Now, the video for this will be available on the YouTube channel eventually. It is available right now at patreon.com/NotSamWrestling for everybody that is a indie darling level shill or above. So you can watch the video of this right now on Patreon, or it'll be available for free, as always, on YouTube in a week or two. So sit back, relax, and enjoy from Caroline's on Broadway, the 200 episode celebration of Not Sam Wrestling.
The Not Sam Wrestling interview.
I want to bring up to the stage the first person who's going to accompany me and accompany us, really, on this journey tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man who gave this podcast the first interview that he did after winning the Ring of Honor Championship of the World. Ladies and gentlemen, Dalton Castle. Let's give it up for him. Here he comes. He's doing his YouTube show and everything. Dalton Castle. Get that cute ass up here. Whoa! 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 Oh my God! Oh my God! Sit down. Okay, sit down. You gotta listen. What? Yeah. He's shouting. You're shouting at the guests. You screamed in your mouth. Whichever one you want, bud. Sit down right there. Sit down right there. Sit down to my right.
I'm fired up, Sam.
Did he just...
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah.
On the Stone Cold podcast. This is amazing.
No, Dalton. This
Where is he? Bring out that rattlesnake.
This is,
Come on.
no. This is... Bud. This is my podcast. It's mine. Remember we did it in the
It's what?
in the studio with the Labradoodle. This is another episode of that show.
No, but we're in a different room. This is not the basement.
No, I know this is not. This is not my basement. I couldn't have fit all these people in my basement, but I invited you to a different room. It's a special show, but it's my show. It's not. Stone Cold's not here, man. He's in Victoria, Texas. I don't. Yeah, he's not here.
Are you doing one of those things that the people call in the industry a rib?
No.
Ribbing me?
No, he's not. I don't do ribs. He's not. It's me and you, bud.
I don't know if you guys can see, but my face is wearing a lot of disappointment right now.
Okay. No.
I have one fan.
You do.
All right.
You do. It's good. It's exciting. A lot of people don't even have one fan, so
Yeah.
it's a really exciting thing. Dalton Castle,
I'm happy
welcome.
to be here, Sam. Thanks for having me back.
I'm happy to have you.
Regardless of the ruse.
Right.
And congratulations on 200. This is crazy.
Thank you. And I was telling you, backstage, without you, we'd be celebrating episode 197, 198. I wouldn't have had those 2 episodes that you did.
They've been in the ether, and you probably would have stopped.
I would have quit. I would have said, I don't have a guest this week.
You would have texted me and said, Dalton, you want to be on the show? And I would have said, hell no. And you
Right.
would have said, okay, I guess I'm done.
Right.
What's the point of even having a podcast?
Right. You'd say Kathy Lee is getting the first Ring of Honor championship interview. I'd go, what? I don't have anything this week. And it'd be over. So we can thank Dalton Castle for the survival
You're welcome,
of Sam
everyone.
Roberts Wrestling Podcast. So what's your life been like? I mean, you had your run as Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah.
The gold was unceremoniously taken from you by one Jay Lethal.
It's almost like the pressure of the world just came crashing down on me all
Yeah,
at once.
yeah.
Do you want the truth? You want exclusive?
Generally speaking, yes.
You guys
we
want
like to-
exclusive here
Let's-
on the 200th episode?
Let's do it. Exclusive.
Right now, life is pretty boring because I'm injured.
Right.
I got hurt, and here's the truth about the injury. I broke my back. Everybody, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's.
And we've decided. Several doctors have thought that it might have been about 2 years ago I broke it.
What? Okay, so when we.
So I won a world championship with a broken freaking back.
Yeah. And by the way, we've talked about.
Exclusive.
We've talked about on this here podcast, your move that you do that I love so much, which is that delayed German suplex, which, I mean, I thought it was difficult anyway, but I can't imagine the arc of the back when it's broken. I don't understand
I
how
feel
that's
like
even
that
possible.
might have been why it was so good.
Because you didn't have
there's nothing to pivot.
Yeah, that pesky connecting tissue wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Maybe that is
that's
why
the
it was
secret
so
to
good.
success. Just lose one of those vertebrae, y'all.
Does it freak you out when a doctor tells you, no, this back's been broken for 2 years, and you're like, or do you go, well, if it's broken for 2 years and I've been going, I can keep going?
Well, I know I'm going to be back in the ring. I don't know when. The problem was the pain just got to a level where I couldn't handle it anymore, where I wasn't even able to stand on my feet for even a few minutes to do a promo. But
By the way, how bad of a friend would I be if in that period I was texting you being like, hey, you want to come do my podcast at Caroline's? You son of a bitch, I can't stand.
oh no, I would have been here.
You would have.
Yeah, I would have been wheeled out on a gurney.
What a good
And
guy.
I still would have been thinking Stone Cold was here because I would have been all up on the painkillers.
Yeah. So you got to a point where the pain was just.
Yeah. So I hurt my back maybe about 2 years ago, and I knew it was bad because I watched the entire Summer Olympics on my living room floor. I have that mile marker. And then I slowly worked my way back to almost normal. I was stretching and yoga and doing all this stuff where I felt like I was good again. And then I heard it again. And
Right.
then this time the pain was different. It started shooting down my hip. And I couldn't even get out of bed for more than a few minutes. Getting in and out of a car was very, very difficult. And a lot of my life is spent in car seats and airplane seats.
Of course.
So fighting through the pain was no longer an option. I had to figure out really what was wrong with me, and found out that what physical therapy and what muscles needed to be strengthened and get things back moving. And now with this time off, I've really been focusing on tighten up that core, Not
Right.
just because it's summer and I wear a really small bathing suit, but because it's my livelihood and I love wrestling. And I'd like to tell each and every one of you that I get in and out of a car like a champ right now.
Oh my God.
But I
mean,
still hurt a lot.
Yeah, it's very, very painful. But if that's not heroism, I don't know what is.
Yeah, heroin, what?
Heroism.
Heroism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I mean, when you have an injury like that, a lot of wrestlers, they know the moment that they got injured. Something popped, something broke, whatever it was. And there's this, they tell these stories about certain moves becoming, at least in the beginning, very, very scary because you're like, oh, that's the spot. If I do this again, I'm going to break this again. If you don't, know exactly when this thing got injured, do you not have that problem?
No, I think I know when it happened, but it wasn't like in a pro wrestling match. I still train in Greco and freestyle.
Why?
Because it's fun.
No.
Yeah, and
I guess everybody's sitting there like I think everybody's on my page no, that doesn't.
Well, I need
doesn't
to
sound
keep
fun at
sharp
all.
just in case when I was holding that world title, anybody wanted to shoot on me and try to take it from me.
Right.
I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing out there.
So what are you going to switch up your style now?
You might right now. You'll see a really relaxed Dalton. I'm a much more entertained person, but I feel like I'm gonna get back to being 100%. So like, right now for like a little while,
Right.
you're gonna see a coward out there. But I'm gonna come back and do what it is that I love, and what I love to do is being extremely self-reckless.
Right. Now, do you curse the world when you have worked as hard as you've worked? You become a champion of the world, and then all of a sudden, now is when you're injured. Now, when I've hit that pinnacle, this is when I get hurt. Do you say, why, God, why? Or do you go, nope, this is just part of the deal?
Yeah, I get a little sad, but I don't dwell on it because, I mean, I had a little taste of it. No one else in this room has been world champion.
No, that's right. Unless, if anybody wants to correct him. No,
And
no.
here he comes, Mr. Ric Flair!
No, he's not here either.
Boy, are you guys going to be disappointed.
He's unfortunately not here either. So obviously All In is out of the question for you because of the injury,
Yeah.
which is a little bit of a bummer. But
There'll be like 8 more, right? I don't see the upswing of pro wrestling and the Young Bucks' popularity going down anytime soon. So I feel pretty confident another All In's going to happen.
yeah,
What was with the delay there? Guys, they're really, really cool.
we talked about your elaborate entrances before on the show, and we talked about the pay-per-view entrance you had where you would
Speaking
actually.
of elaborate, do you have an iPhone? Oh, does anybody have an iPhone in this row? Okay, hey.
Is this a magic trick?
Pull it, start shooting some video. I do a terrible YouTube series, and I need somebody to shoot. But don't do vertical. What are you doing vertical? There we go. All right, you only got to do about 2 minutes. Yeah! This is good pod.
This is good stuff. We're videoing the show. You could have just asked me later for the footage.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't have to interrupt. I know.
I didn't want to be a bother.
Right.
I just wanted to stop the show to a halt, interview the crowd, ask them to do homework.
Have you thought about what adulting? First of all, do you think you'll be back in time for it? Second of all, if the
For
answer is-
SummerSlam?
No, that's not.
Hey, tune in on Sunday, guys. There's a reason I'm not in England.
Have you thought about what a Dalton Castle entrance could potentially look like in April at Madison Square Garden?
Oh, boy. Lots of confetti.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Environmentally dangerous with the amount of confetti. Lots of boys. Lots of boys.
Okay.
Take a look at the amount of people in this room.
Yeah.
And now make each and every one of them a boy.
Is that really your thought of just what I do, but a lot of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, but, dialed up to like 11.
So if you, but is that like when that show?
Like in the movie The Mummy, where like the sand becomes alive. I want the sand grains to be boys.
That's the entrance that you with all the. Yeah, that's good. That's actually that would work. But does that become, when that show gets announced and it's obviously sold out, does that become a goal of like, I have to make sure, whenever I'm coming back, it has to be by then?
Yeah, it is exciting. That's the problem with all this great stuff happening with All In and the Madison Square Garden announcement and just about everything in wrestling being awesome as I'm sidelined because I want to get excited about it. I want to start preparing mentally, like, what would I do in this situation? But really, all I want to focus on is getting back in the ring, first and foremost. It doesn't matter how or where I'm doing it. I just want to get better, and I want to start performing again. That's all I want to do.
You have no sort of timeline?
No, I haven't set a date. Yeah, nothing like that.
I mean, or a doctor could do that. Like, I don't know why you would... Like, you wouldn't just make up when you're going to be better. Doctors would give you the timeline. I certainly
could lie and say I'm good by this date.
Right, no, but I mean, have you been to a doctor?
No.
Okay, yeah, that's the issue. Yeah, you should.
Yeah. No, but I got one of those, like, those operation boards with the tongs and the electric.
So you kind of get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, you got the gist of it. That's good. That's good.
And my cat needs my back once in a while.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, what about that? I mean, you're a family man. Does the lady at home, when you get an injury like this, is this the worst injury you've had in wrestling?
Yeah, I've been. This is definitely for sure the worst.
Does she go like
you can tape up an ankle,
right?
You can tape up a knee and all that. I've been through all that, but she was very supportive. She's always been supportive my entire career. Since I told her I'm going to start doing this silly stuff, and she's been behind me ever since. And dealt with the long times I've been gone, the no money I was making, and now when I can't get out of bed and I'm mopey and depressed and I'm just the worst to be around.
Right. We were all thinking the same thing.
She has yet to divorce me. So
she does.
Yeah.
But is she now going like, oh my God, I see how dangerous this is. I don't want you to do that anymore.
No. She understands that she has never once said you need to start thinking about a new career. She just keeps finding or keeping on me about doing the PT and getting back into it because she knows I'll be a happier person when I'm out there, and I think her life gets easier too. She knows how important it is to me, so she keeps me on track.
And do the boys panic? Your boys that you come to the ring with, do they panic when Daddy leaves? What's left for the boys?
Oh gee, I don't know what's going through those tiny little minds.
I mean, quite frankly, you don't have them around for their minds, do you?
No. They must be in a world. I bet they're secretly super pumped because I think they get a lot more wrestling time now that I'm gone.
Right.
Yeah, and they're on the road still without me weighing them down with my fantastic singles matches and them on the outside. They get to go out there and really get a chance to try to tear it up.
Yeah, well, good. Do you guys, and Dalton, do
you guys want to see our shirts off?
Yeah, I'm not...
Oh.
I'm not doing that. You're welcome to, but I won't.
Oh, yeah.
I won't do that. You know.
You don't have to.
I have like 4 shirts on right now. It's insane. This is my summer attire, by the way. Flannel and satin.
I don't get it. I came here. I'm gonna show everybody. I rode the 7 train with my pants up to here. Ooh, ankle.
Yeah.
Kurt ankle.
Wow, that got 100. This
That's
is your
it.
crowd. Kurt Ankle?
I shouldn't take credit for that. That was a, what's with the cursing?
All right, everybody relax. Relax. I know it's an exciting time, but let's all relax.
Before
We're early
Cesaro was big and famous on the Indies, he made that joke in a locker room, and it popped 13 boys.
They loved it.
They loved it.
Well, that's fantastic. Speaking of fantastic.
You guys can stop filming whoever's doing the homework.
Should we... By the way, whoever's doing the homework stopped filming a while ago.
I'll get it from you in a second.
Should we bring another person up here to experience this journey with us?
No, I'm busy talking to this guy about airdrop.
I know, actually. Well, that's right. Wait, he's the guest guy who was filming him. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. He was about to come up. He's like, I'll do it. I'll come up.
Can I announce him? Can I announce the guest?
Yeah, if you want.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
That's not the guest, man.
Oh.
That's not the... I trusted you and you failed me.
Duke the Dumpster!
While we don't have Duke the Dumpster Drosy, we do have...
Sam Roberts' Labradoodle? I don't remember the name.
Lila Garrity?
Layla?
Lila Garrity.
Lila Garrity.
We do have the man responsible for the creative behind Duke the Dumpster Drosy. Should we bring out our next guest? Ladies and gentlemen, please give a nice, warm, Notsam Wrestling reception to Bruce Prichard. Bruce Prichard. Brother love. Brother love. There he is. There he is. Right there. Right there. The second best Macho Man impression in the business. The second best Andre the Giant impression in the business. You must really...
Listen, baby. If you're going to talk to me with your mouth open, shut the fuck up.
Spot on, Andre the Giant.
Bruce Prichard.
Castle Dalton down there. Yeah, what the fuck?
Sounds just like me. That's amazing.
You know?
Do you rue the day that Dan Soder ever started doing wrestling impressions? It seems like that's the one thorn in your side, the one thing that stopped you from taking that trophy.
Oh, no. Last time we were in New York, I had Dan Soder on actually as a guest, and I said, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we did like a macho off? And, let everybody choose, because I figured my audience, man, they're going to love my shit, right? So I'm on stage, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like, oh, yeah. And he starts talking, and I look at Conrad, I go, abort. We're going to have a conversation with the dream, baby. So let me tell you the Macho Man. So, yeah, I give the crown to Dan Soder on
that's very big of
Macho
you.
Man.
Now, Bruce, let me ask you a question. You spent all these years. I've always wondered this.
You want to know how I spend my days?
How do you spend your days? By the way, be careful about you start there and then you start, playing the hits. As soon as you walk out here, you're gonna, 15 minutes in, there's nothing left.
Oh yeah, well I'm done. Spend my days working hard on the go, but the hands on the clock keep spinning too slow. I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight.
We can't afford that.
Fucking ha. Y'all get the second verse if you come to my show at the Gramercy Theater
right.
Saturday, 2 o'clock, BruceRichard.com.
So,
Do you come to my show?
Yeah, I'll be there. Do you think that, did you get upset when Jeff Jarrett gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, right? This is a big night for you. Because I was there. The Hall of Fame is the night that it was announced that you were going to be doing your show on the WWE Network. They aired it on the video screen for the entire arena to see.
What a fucking pop, too, right?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But you're on cloud nine. Jeff Jarrett gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. He starts singing the song that you and Conrad, helped rejuvenate. I think Jeff was probably there first. But... they don't come to you. He goes around the whole room singing with people, and he doesn't land on you. Did you get hot?
Yeah, that hurts inside where it counts. Why would you bring up a hurtful moment like that?
I'm asking if it was a hurtful moment. Are you crying?
A little bit.
Well, don't, man.
Yeah.
No, but it did hurt.
Well, yeah, I got him inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Okay. All right.
I made the song fame, made him relevant again.
Right. It's amazing. If you listen to the stories that you tell, you went through a period where you wanted nothing to do with wrestling.
Yes, I did.
You threw your Brother Love suit out a car window while you were driving.
Into Galveston Bay.
You were gone. Now, you're walking around taking credit for the whole industry.
Well, yeah.
What was happening? What was going through in your head that period of time when you thought you were done with wrestling? And because I just find it so fascinating because clearly you were far from it.
Well, bankruptcy happened.
I see.
I'll tell this story. Why do you get the good? I'm going to give you a story that I only tell at my live shows.
Okay. Well, this is a live show. You stop. Just hold the microphone by the handle. Stop holding it by the wall. I really am the last professional broadcaster.
Yeah.
This is insane. Nobody's ever had that problem. Number one podcaster can't
Now
keep a
you
mic
know what
plugged
microphone to give Corey Graves later.
That's smart.
You
smoke.
laugh because you know it's the truth.
I don't know where this is even coming from.
But
Tell me.
hey, so
You mean Corey Feldman?
So you're going through bankruptcy.
okay, so long time ago, Pat Patterson and I used to work with Vince real closely, and it was just three of us. We'd book around the swimming pool, those legendary stories, all this bullshit. So one day Vince is getting on us and talking to us about how he really experienced hard times in his life. And he goes on to tell this story about, God damn it, guys. There was a time when I declared personal bankruptcy. I experienced hard times. I go to the courthouse, and I'm waiting there. We only had one car, so I had to wait for Linda to show up. I'm waiting on the steps of the courthouse after filing for bankruptcy. And I look, and I see a tow truck pull up. And it's got my one and only vehicle on the back. And I look, and in the front seat is my wife. Next to her is Shane. And Linda's pregnant. I go home and I get to our trailer. We're living in a trailer. We're so poor, we are living in a trailer. It is so cold that the chemicals that are in the trailer where you go to the bathroom, the blue stuff, like the goddamn airplanes. So cold it was all frozen. Well, little Shane had to go pee-pee. And he couldn't do it until I cleared that passageway. So I cleared away, and I get down underneath my trailer, and I've got an ice pick, and I'm chipping away. I'm chipping. I got fucking frozen feces and frozen urine. And I'm chipping. And it's goddamn fucking up my fresh manicure. And I'm chipping. Oh, whoa, stop. You're flat broke. Hard times. You have declared bankruptcy. You're living in a fucking trailer. You have one car that doesn't work. Yet you have a fresh manicure. Without hesitation, he looks at me and says, well, goddamn, pal, got to have class. I declared bankruptcy, and when I declared bankruptcy, I called Vince McMahon. True story. And I said, hey, Vince, filed bankruptcy today. God damn, good for you, pal. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. And I said, just wanted to let you know, before we went and signed the papers to declare the final bankruptcy, I went and got a little mani-pedi. And no shit, without hesitation, he says, God damn, got to have class, pal.
What a life lesson.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to apologize to
apply
anybody
that to
going to the
everything.
live show on Saturday, because I'm going to tell that same story.
It's a great story.
I bet some of the details change. Maybe a little more belly rubbing.
So yeah. So okay. Get a hold of yourself.
Your Vince knocked me back in my seat the second you started it. Good thing there's a back on this chair.
Yeah. You'd have broken your back
again. I could have been out for another few months.
So you declare bankruptcy. Wrestling, you feel like the wrestling business has turned its back on you after all your years of service. You want nothing to do with this thing again.
Right.
That's what upsets you so much about it.
No, nobody wanted me anymore.
That ain't true.
Nobody loved me anymore.
Oh.
It was sad.
Yeah, it sounds sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you started podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people started listening, and advertisers gave us money, so it was kind of cool.
That's good stuff.
No, I swear to God, before we did the podcast, I did say to Conrad Thompson, I said, dude, nobody cares. Mm-hmm. And when we started to do it, and the fact that anybody listened was extremely humbling and pretty damn cool. So that is a shoot. That's just kind of why I came back.
Well, give that a round of applause. Give that. I mean, that's a nice sentiment. So I've always wondered. You do some work in TNA, behind the scenes and in front of the camera. When you do work with an organization that's not the WWE, you've seen the way the WWE puts together the show. You've seen everything they do right, everything they do wrong. But when you get to an organization that could clearly use some of that, like does it drive you crazy the amount of mistakes that get made? Because if anybody would be aware of those mistakes, it's you.
Yeah.
Do you do you try to change it, or do you go that's above my pay grade? Do what you're going to do.
I did try to change it. I'll never forget Eric Bischoff coming to me at one point in my TNA tenure and saying, goes, Bruce, they don't have, forget about 2 nickels to rub together. These motherfuckers don't have 2 pennies, period. They don't get it. Take the check and go home. And that... I just couldn't do that, and that was what was frustrating to me, trying to get them to open up and listen and have fun and go with it a little bit, because it was a different environment. This another comparison. I'm spilling the fuck out of this.
Well,
another comparison though, but you talk about that. The difference is, I know, it would be so much easier.
Nothing says credibility like talking and spilling your drink everywhere.
Let me tell you something about what TNA needs to do.
Tell us about your genius ideas, Uncle Bruce.
We'll get back to all these hijinks in a minute. I love today's show because it's giving you the feel of being there for a live event. We all love being there for live events, and I think you know where I'm going. The best way to get the feel for being at a live event is to actually be at a live event. But you know how complicated it is to get these tickets. It's way too complicated. That's why our good friends, one of the most loyal sponsors to Notsam Wrestling in the history of Notsam Wrestling, is there to help you, of course. I'm talking about the one, the only, SeatGeek. Yes, SeatGeek is the way to go. They search multiple ticket sites. They grade every ticket based on value. If you don't have this app on your phone by now, I don't know what you're waiting for. You already know that I do. I have the app on my phone. I go through it. It goes by location. It tells me what concerts, sporting events, wrestling shows, Broadway shows, comedy shows, anything that's in my area, it tells me what's happening. If I already know what's happening, I want to find something specific, I just search the event. Either way, click on the event. Seating chart comes up. Tells me what tickets are available. Tickets, graded tickets. Green, yellow, red. What does that mean? It tells me the value of the ticket that I'm getting, meaning if I don't care how much I spend, I just want the best seats, they got you. Or if I want to make sure that I'm paying the best possible price for these tickets, they got you. It's guaranteed. No more embarrassing moments showing up at the door and having that scanner send you home. SeatGeek has you covered. And here's the best part. The deal only gets better because listeners to Notsam Wrestling are getting $20 off their first SeatGeek purchase. That's right. You're probably saying, how? Here's how. Download the SeatGeek app. Enter promo code SAM today. That's promo code SAM, and that's it. You're going to get $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase with promo code SAM. Download the app, SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets. Now back to Caroline's on Broadway.
So Vince McMahon would call you.
Hot lesbian action.
Yeah.
That's what TNA needs.
Put that guy in a dumpster.
And then
Nobody's face is painted red at all.
there you go. Vince McMahon would call your ass at 2 o'clock in the morning. And usually the first thing out of his mouth, how you doing, pal? Good. What are you doing? Sleeping. I'm watching this thing on MSG Network. Why? But he called you all hours of the day, evening, didn't matter, and expected you to be ready to go. Dixie Carter would call me at 3 o'clock on a Friday and apologize. I'm sorry for calling you so late. I know it's the weekend.
But do you go like, oh, this is easy for me? I can just, this is light work, or do you go? Do you want to grab Dixie Carter and say, don't apologize to people for calling them at 3 o'clock on a weekday? We got to do this.
Yeah, and that's the frustrating part about it, because they had a lot of great talent, and they did have the wherewithal. They did have the funds. and they could have been a lot better, but they just couldn't get out of their own way, and that was a frustration.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and what can one man do, right? Even if he is Bruce Prichard, what can one man do?
You know, I saved the world.
Yeah.
And then just,
You gave Jeff Jarrett everything he ever
everything
had.
he's ever had.
Everything. He
Yes.
owes you everything.
Everything.
Yes, life.
His life. his entire...
His entire life,
Wow.
yes. Well, you
Wow.
know.
It's,
First you chop up the chicken. And
Yeah, does Jeff Jarrett, for as much praise as you give him, does he go like, could you maybe take it easy on my dad?
he hates his dad, too.
Oh.
His dad. Jerry Jarrett's a douchebag.
Okay.
You know, huh?
That's good to know. That's good to know. We've talked... Go ahead.
No, nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought something came to you.
No, it's your show. All right. Your fucking picture on the goddamn program. All right? Are we even mentioned?
Don't get... Yeah, you're in there somewhere. There means-
Okay.
Different picture than on the poster.
There's a
know,
lot
right?
of pictures of
There's
me.
so many pictures of Sam here.
I'm the last
Did you do a
professional
photo
broadcaster.
shoot for this?
I did.
Well, all right.
I did. I wanted
I
to
don't
make
know why
sure
your
that-
shirt's on any of them.
Again with the topless, huh?
Yeah.
You're
I'm
pushing
really
this is
pushing
your
it.
agenda tonight.
I had one goal tonight.
I'm just happy I wasn't up here when you started talking about taking shirts off. I'm like, huh? Nope, not happening, not tonight.
Not too late, right?
Yeah, we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna do that this evening.
Let's get a Sam show your tits chant.
Yeah.
Show your tits! Show your tits! Show your tits!
No,
Those Attitude Era guys.
I know, right? it's
Real progressive.
it's a little ridiculous. How difficult? You bring up the Attitude Era, and we brought up, HLA a moment ago. The transition out of the Attitude Era. That's a very odd time in wrestling because there were moments where you were going way too far and moments where you started pulling way back because you weren't exactly sure what was happening.
Define way too far. Was that the necrophilia or was
Yeah, I think you did it for me.
that was it?
That
huh?
was it. Yeah, no, you defined it. But like, as a creative guy, as a guy who's kind of doing a lot of this, how do you figure out how are we telling stories anymore? What are people relating to? Clearly, there were moments like you just mentioned where you did not figure out how to relate to people, but.
Unfortunately, sometimes you have to play to one man, and that would be Vince a lot of times. But
What did you do wrong? You're pointing out
What?
you're pretty good at figuring
where
out.
the fuck do you want me to start with that one?
Well, that's what I want to know. You're pretty good at you can take credit for the good stuff that happened to Jeff Jarrett, right? I didn't even bring it up. When you bring up one of the most things that you're shit upon the most for, you can figure out who else is to blame for it.
No.
What are you to blame for?
Oh God, a lot. Most of the bad shit in the early '90s. Sorry, somebody had to do it.
People
What?
want to know what?
I didn't do Repo Man. I wasn't there for Repo Man.
Yeah.
Mantar.
You bite your tongue. Mantar was awesome. You bite your tongue, sir. I'll come down there and I will fight you with my horns.
Oh no, fuck me! I had a shitload of bad ideas.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, give me an example.
Oh God.
I asked
The
her-
narcissist. Ooh.
Why don't you let's let
The
Bruce
Lex
give him-
Express was a great fucking idea, motherfucker.
Sam, aren't you one of the people that would look out the window waiting for it?
I would.
Yeah.
I would. I didn't realize he was on a schedule. I would just drive around everywhere at time. That summer, no matter where me and my parents drove, I'd be looking out the window thinking that the Lex Express just drives
Goddamn
around.
right. Lex Express was fucking over.
Yeah. I was ready for him to be my hero after that music video. I was ready. And it didn't happen, man. He won by countdown. What the hell?
That hurts inside, man. Okay.
I know. I had to live it.
Los Baricuas.
I don't know what that is.
a Puerto Rican.
Okay. All right. So you did it again. You do the voice, and then it makes it seem like I'm just doing Vince's bidding. That's not like you're like, oh, this was a bad idea because Vince wanted it. This was.
No, honestly, that was like, hey, what about Juan Rivera? I love it. We'll call him Savio. Put him with Razor. They'll love him. God, I have so many bad ideas. It's hard to come up with them.
Yeah.
But I had, trust me, I had my share of shit ideas.
I guess we'll just have to believe
Jen, did I have any bad ideas? Okay, thank you.
She said no. She said no. You've never had any bad ideas. I mean,
Ever.
I think we know, based on your performance tonight. But do you suppose you'll be back on the WWE network
After tonight?
That's the yeah. I mean, I think you've answered that question. But
Let's just say that negotiations have come to a halt.
Well, screw that. I'm here. Why don't you write for me? What would you do for me in the future?
okay. Dalton Castle.
I got a big comeback lined up, guys.
Right.
How am I doing it?
Yeah. How does Dalton Castle come back? If this guy, let's say it's the 90s, he walks into Titan Tower.
Yep.
And you want to do something with him. What are you gonna do with him?
Do I need to do a spin? You gotta get a look at this. Hold on.
Yeah. What are you
Let me
gonna
show
do?
you what you're working with.
He's got an amateur background. What are you gonna do?
Well, first of all, you got to ask the question. So tell me what your interests are, pal.
Yeah.
My interest? I do.
All right. Let's allow the meeting to actually happen. I appreciate that.
I do. I'm really into Hanson. Those three brothers. I do spiral graph.
I like it. Yeah. We'll give you a bull rope and a cowboy hat.
Cowboy.
I can see it now. You won't sell a goddamn thing.
I love it.
Okay.
So
I'll
you're
do
thinking,
it. I'm in.
You're
I'm
thinking,
in.
All right. See.
You're thinking cowboy gimmick.
Hanson.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Yeah.
Not the band Hanson. Stan Hansen is where we're going. Stan Hansen.
Oh, the misconnect.
I got it. 90s pop culture. I was there too. Yeah, he was talking about the band. Hanson.
You know, were they the three brothers that threw those clotheslines?
Mba. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it, Sam.
Well, I thought we were.
So I fucking did the.
No, I got it.
Good
But
thing
what
you're
would
on
you?
radio.
What would you do with Dalton Castle?
Well, I'd have to know what the hell he was about first.
That's insulting.
Well, no, hang on. Stop.
He told me for 10 minutes straight he loves my stuff, watches all my work, and is a big fan, and was great to meet me. And that's what he says on stage.
No, hang on. Stop. Watch everybody else. First thing that would come out. What do you like, pal?
He
what are your
thinks I'm
hobbies?
Matt Riddle, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah. Okay, what do you like? What are your hobbies? Let's say you're actually in this meeting.
Okay.
Which one is he again? No, that would be, regardless, okay, no matter what their gimmick was, that would have been the first question. What do you like? What are your hobbies? What do you do? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Goddamn, growing up, you go to college?
I love cats.
You'll be the cat man.
I genuinely love it.
Okay. Like the male crazy cat lady. I think that it's good.
I come out with a duffel bag full of cats and I throw them at people. It'll be like Jake the Snake.
We'll
but with
call you.
cats.
We'll call you pussy. You'll have hair all over you. And when we turn you babyface, we'll just shave the fuck out of you.
Like one of them Bambino cats.
Well, listen, guys.
We're gonna make dozens of dollars. I
Wow,
can't wait.
this has gone down the
Dozens.
fucking drain.
I'm gonna tell you guys something. I appreciate not only both of you being here tonight. It's huge for me, and I think it's huge for everybody here.
Well,
I appreciate the love and support you've shown my podcast. Both of you, it means a lot to me, and I really thank you for that.
Well, it means a lot to me, and thank you. And true story, though, I do love Dalton Castle. I do love his gimmick, and I do think he's great. I love his shit, and I did tell him that because that is an honest guy. But
I hope my mom's watching.
Who?
Hey, he's putting me over, goddammit.
Yeah, what the hell?
Shut your mouth out there.
But just because I like you doesn't mean I love you.
He worked it in. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to Dalton Castle and Bruce Prichard. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Thank you
Sam.
for
This
being
is great
here.
being here, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you very, very much. It's a busy night. I mean, isn't it amazing? I could talk to those guys literally all night long. Hilarious guys. Hilarious guys. But there's somebody else I want to bring out who was unannounced, by the way. This is, all right, we did that joke. This was, I'm just kidding. This was actually the first person to do this podcast twice. Does anybody remember who was the first person to do Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast 2 times? This gentleman over here, I'll give him to you. This gentleman over here, he got it right. Ladies and gentlemen, the savior of misbehavior. This is Corey Graves. Look at him, looking all bashful. Look at this guy. Corey Graves. The real Corey Graves. Corey Graves.
Hey guys.
Welcome, buddy.
So I got to the hotel tonight and I was a little bored and I was like, well, maybe I could go hang out with my friend Sam Roberts.
Right.
Because we set the world on fire sometimes.
We do set the world on fire, and I appreciate the fact that I said, okay, but we're going to have to hang out on stage staring at a bunch of people with microphones, and you said, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
That's what I'm here for.
I'll do that.
How many of you have sent me mean tweets?
Be honest.
Just asking. Just asking.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. No. Liars.
It's just lies. It's just where are you right now on your war with social media? It's been well publicized. There were fears that you were going away from Twitter forever.
Well, my brother turned out to be an idiot, so time couldn't have been worse. But beyond that, no, I got bored, man. Like people were sending messages to my wife, saying like really bad shit.
Right.
And I was like, who has time for that?
Right. At that point, it's not even like, okay, we're kind of half in character, and it's
Right.
like she doesn't even play a character.
Yeah, exactly. She just happens to like just exist and be hot, and people say bad things about her, and I'm like, wait, it's not her fault. It's my fault.
Right.
But it got to be exhausting.
Right. So are you?
As of about 8:15 p.m. tonight, I'm back on social media, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And welcome back. They're chanting it for you. Yeah. And is that also because your brother's getting even worse tweets than you?
My brother's an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say anything more than that. I sent him a text and I went, dude, I love you. You're still my brother, but you're an idiot.
Right.
So you screwed up beyond repair. It is what it is.
Sometimes that's the message you need, right? Hey, I'm your brother. I love you. You're an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, who in here? This is gonna get a way better response.
Okay.
Who has a better response? Who in here has a stupid brother or sister?
Okay. All right. So we can understand. Corey,
Yes.
you were part of history on Monday night.
Yeah.
You shared the Raw commentary table.
With my best friend in the entire world, who I think should be always next to me. Yes.
Renee Young. First of all, how amazing is it, when you did the podcast early on, we talked about your transition into commentary, how you had to learn this.
Transition into becoming a woman.
That's right.
Which, according to Twitter, I'm basically Ruby Rose right now.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's a problem.
So they're pissed that you're Batgirl?
Yeah.
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 So to go from only a couple years ago, somebody who's learning this thing to being the sort of, I don't know if shoulder to cry on is the right term, but the person who's passing down that knowledge to somebody like Renee, did you feel ready for it? What do you mean?
Wait. Riri, what are you pissed off about?
What is that?
Why'd you stop right now? I'm calling you out, Riri. That's Chris. Chris, your husband is great. Riri, what's happening right now?
Yeah. What? Okay.
Oh.
All right. That's rough. That's
It's weird. So I'm going to talk about Raw and wrestling and Renee
Yeah.
Young.
Yeah, that was another rabbit hole you don't want to go down.
Yeah, this is why they never give me an actual live mic.
But to be a guy who's now passing down knowledge on doing commentary, that's got to be kind of a trip.
Okay, so that point, I have no business or interest in passing on anything to anybody. I'm in a position that I should have never been in,
Right.
Which I'm well aware of, and I have a great time. But yeah, no, to sit there, the hardest part they always say of our job is to be a fan, because we're so like tied up in the world of WWE and we know what's gonna happen or what's what, but you just go like, at the end of the day, you're a fan. That's why we're here.
Right.
Right? I mean, that's why we're here now. Just because you get lost in it and you forget. You go like, okay, life's difficult. Life gets in the way. It is what it is. But to be there for 3 hours with Renee, who is, honest to God, man, like one of my best friends in the world, and to sit there for 3 hours, and with Cole also, I'm going to say this on the record because it's going to be on Sam's podcast, Michael Cole is the most underrated guy that doesn't get any credit, and everybody gives him hell.
Yeah.
He's the only reason I'm where I'm at. I mean, he believes in, but just to be there with two friends and watch wrestling. Right?
That's what it felt like.
That's what it was. It was two friends watching this business that all of us, everyone in this room, that we love wrestling, right? Yeah. Good, bad, indifferent, Bullet Club or WWE, like pro wrestling's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we can all agree.
So to be there for 3 hours with two of my best friends in the world,
Yeah.
and just talk about wrestling and laugh, and Renee genuinely, she doesn't know Corey, she knows Matt.
Right.
And she goes, "Oh, I know Matt. I'm not going to shut down. I'm going to bust his balls just as hard as he busts anyone's balls."
Right.
So it was really, really refreshing to have someone that could shut me down because I talk too much.
Yeah. You have been waiting for that. I mean, the whole Corey Graves thing, no matter what show you're on, you find the weak link, and you're just like, I dare you to stop me. Just try to, you can stop
please.
me.
And I'm begging for people to stop me. And Renee, in less than 3 hours, figured it out and shut me down. So
Yeah, and you were actually like, that made you happy.
oh, it thrilled me.
Yeah.
I was the happiest guy in the room.
Yeah, yeah. How do you handle, I mean, people talk about how long WWE pay-per-views are. How do you handle being the guy who's calling every match?
I'm going to stop drinking any liquid tomorrow, Saturday, about 2 p.m.
Uh-huh.
I've got the bladder of a camel.
Uh-huh.
Beyond that, that's it. I'm just stuck in the bubble, man.
You just do the deal.
I just do the deal.
Except,
I pee in my pants. There's no diaper involved. I wear black pants for a reason. Okay? All right, cool.
isn't that amazing that, like, as difficult, you're doing, 5 hours of live.
Like 7 hours.
But it's amazing that, like, 7 hours of, like, live TV, millions of people watching, listening, seems like a daunting thing, but at the end of the day, it's just like, as long as I can control my peas, I'll be fine.
That's literally the only thing it comes down to. I'm just well, we could have, like, this extra match, which would be cool, or I could pee.
Right.
And I go, no, I got to pee. I'm sorry.
Right. It's
a real problem.
It's nature.
Tomorrow, I want to like by a show of hands in this room, which is really full, and I don't know how you did this again.
I appreciate that.
Who's gonna watch 7 hours of SummerSlam and not pee?
Yeah, that's what. That's a great challenge. If you guys want to respect Corey Graves, what you should do is watch SummerSlam. Start with the kickoff show because he's doing kickoff show commentary too.
I'm doing it all.
Sit down, watch SummerSlam, and don't urinate. And that's what you do to support Corey Graves.
There were 3 hands.
They're not doing it.
They're not. They're not going to do it.
They
So,
refuse.
that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So SummerSlam's too long. I'll run it up the ladder and get nowhere. Your glasses are fantastic, sir.
Well, look.
I'm sure you've sent me a mean tweet. No. No, I'm sorry.
I'd like to bring out, talking about broadcasting. And
No, I don't want to talk about this guy. He sucks.
Who?
Yeah, the guy. I only know because I was in the green room with him. I didn't even know he was here. If I knew he was here, I wasn't going to show up.
Are you talking about my next guest?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He sucks.
The guy from Sirius that like kicked a few footballs a few times and like now he thinks he's pro wrestling royalty.
He's one of the greatest punters of all time.
He's the worst punter of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee. There he is. Oh my God, there is real heat. My God, yeah. What's up, bud? Thank you for coming.
No, I won't sit down, Pat. All right, everybody, give it up for the worst punter in NFL history.
What is
How's it
happening?
going? How's it going? It was a good time. The lady that just shot down old buddy over here said we're not married. Very awkward situation.
Riri.
Yeah.
Her name's Riri. Yeah, wait, Riri, you put on a
shame.
different shirt.
And I want to let you know, Corey, you have a guy back here that when you were talking about not pissing for 7 hours, he was like, I do that every time with Corey Graves. It's that guy with the glasses right there. That's your biggest fan right
My
there.
man, my best friend.
Yeah, there he is.
Pat,
You two pee at the same time. It's good.
what the hell happened backstage that Corey Graves just decides to run you down? I wanted to build you up.
I walk through the goddamn kitchen back here.
Yeah.
Okay? And I get to the other side, and there's only one man over there looking like a Brooklyn hipster, just absolute socialite times 400, blowing O's out of his vape. And all of a sudden, there was just heat coming out of his mouth towards me. I was going to compliment him on the incredible job that he does on Mondays and Tuesdays and how his look is very nice and I enjoy his voice. But all he could do was be an absolute asshole to me.
Wow.
And I don't know why.
I'm going to tell you why, because you and I grew up in rival high schools.
Less
right
than
next door.
5 minutes from each other, Corey Graves and I grew up.
There was a point in time.
No, I'm a flincher too. Hold on, let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
Someone put this on the chive. I got this right here.
Chive.
No. When I grew up, there was a sign in the next town over, which was approximately 4 miles from my house. Hi, Riri, you're still beautiful.
And unmarried, by the way. Oh,
Not
buddy,
married.
you're never gonna have sex with that lady. But
Single.
I think the get to the point and read this one with a little bit of pride, please.
Yeah.
I grew up in a city called Monroeville, outside of Pittsburgh, and next door was Plum.
Where the ballers ball and the players play.
And
We're a great white trash neighborhood.
And
there,
the NFL kickers grow up working at Rudy's Subs. Regardless, there was a sign that said, "Welcome to PA."
Oh, don't let the fucking microphone miss this. This is this is the part. This is what we've been waiting for.
Home of Pat McAfee.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got arrested 6 days after they put those signs up. That is no joke. My mom went to the grocery store. My mom goes to the grocery store, and the lady that's checking her out in my hometown is like, "Congratulations on this sign and your son's mugshot. It was on TMZ. Good day. Good day." Yeah, my mom left. My mom moved for that. It's
He's
great.
literally never spoken to his mother since that day, which is weird. But his sign still stands. God damn it, Sam!
No, I'm
Shit.
You stepped on it earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to call pro wrestling matches with Pat McAfee. I'm gonna
okay,
go.
all
I'm gonna
right, we're
leave.
getting nice again. We're getting nice.
I
That's
very
good.
much thank you putting that on the record, by the way.
That's nice.
I didn't mean that. You're just because you're here, and I can't be uncomfortably,
Well, is there
rude
any sort of like insecurity on your part? Because for a long time,
Yeah.
Corey Graves was the guy who got to dress a little bit different. Wasn't wearing a tie, showing his neck tattoos. All of a sudden, Pat
that what it is?
McAfee walks onto an NXT Takeover pre-show
In jean shorts.
and he's got jorts and Yeezys on. I mean, this is
Yeah.
unprecedented.
It was a jort suit.
It wasn't.
It was a jort
Pat
suit.
was all day. He was insisting it was a jort suit. It was a shirt, a blazer, and a pair of shorts he bought at American Eagle Outfitters. That is not a jort suit.
Well, Sam, I think you were being a bit negative about it. I thought it really came together well.
I didn't say it
Yeah.
looked bad. I'm just.
Riri, what do you want? Riri's got a question.
Who the hell is Riri?
Riri
That's
is
the
my
unmarried
future
lady
ex-wife.
over here.
I want to know more about this vest with a hood situation.
Okay, she's pointing out.
No
Pat
one knows what
McAfee's-
that means.
He's wearing a sleeveless shirt with a
Oh,
hood.
you're talking about what I'm wearing.
He's gone. He's quit. Corey is just. I mean, he's.
Look
Corey.
at him in his goddamn denim jacket, hugging everybody on his way out.
Yeah.
After just burning the house down like that.
Here's the thing about Corey Graves, and a lot of you don't know this. On a social level, he's made an art out of leaving at the right moment. When you hang out with Corey Graves, everybody's having a good time. The minute it's time to go, he says goodbye and he walks out. I believe that the minute to say goodbye was probably before he even walked on stage. This is what happens.
Hey, man, we were getting pretty intoxicated back there.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I see.
Bruce Prichard wouldn't shut up. I mean, I heard 45 stories from this guy. I'm going to talk about the things they tell me I can't talk about. I see his ass on TV every week.
Yeah.
He's a talented guy, though.
is.
It was awesome hearing the story. Sam, by the way.
You tell me.
I don't know if anybody else here has done this yet, but today you have had a day for the ages here at Caroline's. I don't know if any comedian in the history of comedians could say what they did today. You interviewed Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
And then you've had this entire evening tonight with everybody. You're putting in so much time on his mic. And Gilbert Godfrey was in between you and you.
He was. I was the bread creating a Gilbert Gottfried sandwich. He was the meat.
That's a loud meat.
Yeah. Oh, it was loud.
But I think you've done an incredible job. And the fact that these people have come is such a great testimony to you.
Such a blessing, and I appreciate you pointing that out.
Bless them, then. Bless them.
Thank you. The people want to know, Pat, explain your journey to the WWE, because everybody, I'll tell you, I'm not a football guy. Like, I knew you from Barstool. I knew you as an entertaining guy. When I met you, I think we clicked instantly. But part of that is probably because I don't know anything about your football thing that you did.
Yeah,
it
wasn't worth a shit.
Well, I was talking to my dad about it, and I was like, I don't know. Pat always says he's like the greatest punter of all time. You know what my dad said?
I don't say that.
You do. You know what my dad said?
What's that?
He was a very good punter. So, I was like, oh, maybe he's telling the truth.
Your dad is stern but fair.
Yeah.
Stern but fair.
What was the journey for you
All right.
to get to WWE?
Okay, it's a long one, but a quick one. We'll make it quick. This has been a long night. We're already late.
Yeah.
Adam Cole.
All right, let's not. All right.
No, he's a really cool guy. So when I was in high school, I played soccer. Got offered to go play over in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Chose not to do that because I had a scholarship to kick footballs. I decided I'd like to take 3 steps and kick a ball and make millions instead of run 7 fucking miles and kick a ball. So I go to college at West Virginia. I wasn't great. West Virginia University is known as the Harvard of West Virginia.
Right.
I went out 5-6 nights a week, had a great time, put together a nice little career. We won a lot. I get drafted by Bill Polian to do a position that I did not know how to play, which was punter.
Right.
He tells me, we think you're athletic enough to figure it out, basically.
Great.
Yeah. First year I'm there, we go undefeated, Peyton Manning, until Drew Brees and his dumb baby beat us in the Super Bowl. Yeah. Oh, the confetti was flying with him and his stupid baby up there. Yeah, I was miserable. We lost the Super Bowl. I was 22 years old and thought I was going to have a Super Bowl ring. That would have been quite a off season. I'm going to let that be known.
Yeah.
So then I keep going into my second year. I ride that off season. I got back to training camp after my rookie year. My rookie salary, I think, was like $315,000 or something like that.
Righteous bucks.
And you get paid during the NFL season. So you get 17 NFL checks. And that is a wild thing to happen.
Why do you say
that
that?
off season came up. And it was the first time I had any free time in my entire life. I played soccer growing up all year round. Then college football was all year round. Then you get to the NFL. And it was my first time with any money. And it was my first time with any free time. So I spent $310,000 from the Super Bowl until the next training camp. I was in Africa, Europe, everywhere.
You didn't grow up with a ton of money.
No.
So this idea that it was even possible to spend $310,000 in an off season for it.
Yeah. I went and saw all the things. When I grew up, I was watching Wild On with Brooke Burke.
Sure.
I remember like 5 episodes. I'm like, I'm going to all those fucking places. As soon as I got money, I was like, I'm going there. I ended up at a place called Coco Bungo in Mexico. Have a good time there.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Made out with a woman who wasn't always such. Down there at Coco Bungo.
Maybe you and Jim Norton have more in common than you guys realize.
I think you would have done the same thing I did at the time. The way she looked was incredible.
I'm not judging.
It's 4 a.m. in Coco Bungo in Cancun.
That's right.
Get off my dick, Sam.
Right. No, you're right.
So I had a good time.
Yeah.
Okay? I had a good time. I hit almost every continent. I was all over the place. I rode a camel in Morocco at one point during my rookie year. I chugged tea in the basement of like a rug making place. The whole place went nuts. I found the guy, you know Moroccan oil? They're the argan nuts. Do you know that? Women would know this that are listening. Argan oil, Moroccan nuts. The year before it exploded in America, I met the argan nut farmer in Morocco. Got his phone number, blacked out, lost it. 1 year later, I get text messages of pictures in all these women magazine about Moroccan's magic oil from argan nut. And my motherfucking guy is sitting there like, I'm the man behind all this. I could have been retired from everything. Everything because of that. But what happened, Sam? I got drunk and made a mistake.
Yeah.
And that's what happened my second year in the NFL. It was
We're only up to year 2. That's amazing, the experience.
Well, it was our bye week, Sam.
Yeah.
And it was a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And there was $5 you-call-its all night at this one particular bar.
That's great.
So I walked in there, and it was me and a couple teammates that will be unnamed because they left me out in the wilderness to be killed. I ordered, the last thing I remember is ordering 100 shots, okay? There was 25 people out at this bar. So you start doing the math. A lot of them weren't drinking. There were some designated drivers. So we were having a good time at this place. I get arrested 4 or 5 a.m.
Okay. Yeah, the witching hour, as it's known.
for an alleged incident. I was walking home. They said I went for a swim, which is a bunch of bullshit if you ask me, because I have no recollection of any water.
Now, were you wet at the time?
My pants were, and my phone was broken from apparent water damage. But I'm a sweater, Sam. You've seen that at the NXT takeovers.
I have seen. That's why you wear shorts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I could have, and no sleeves. By
Right.
the way, vest hoodie lady that refuses to marry Cuzzy that loves you, I think.
Yeah.
So I have a good time.
Yeah.
I get arrested.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Never in my life. They had me shackled.
Yeah. You got to relax.
No, my friends work with me. My friends work with me. But I am just excited for you two's relationship to blossom into something special. But I'm shackled.
Right.
So I am completely shackled 4 or 5 a.m. Lady, if it means anything, I do triceps as well and a little of these things. I was fat when I kicked because I thought, you know what? I don't want to fix what's not broken. So I got real fat. And then now that I've retired, I've been searching for the juice that I think a lot of these wrestlers are on. I can't find them, but I've been keto dieting all over the place.
Good. Good.
Keto dieting.
You mean like natural, like vegetable juices?
All meat. I've been just drinking.
Yeah.
Yes, I am, lady.
What are you doing?
Don't encourage her. Somebody says from right behind her. Lady, that's a self-awareness moment that I think we should all learn from.
Yeah.
So I get arrested.
Right.
Thank you. That means a
Right.
lot.
You got this, Pat. You got this, buddy. Don't let the distractions get the best of you.
No, see, that's a good time. Like, you guys hate it, but I enjoy that.
Right. Right. You got this, bud.
Right back there, me and Corey, you guys missed it.
All right, Pat.
No, not anymore. So I get arrested.
You're arrested. You're shackled.
So I get shackled and arrested, thrown in the back of the van. Okay?
Yeah.
I become headline news
Right.
in Indianapolis because it's the bye week. Jimmy Fallon makes a joke about me. Jimmy Kimmel makes a joke about me. It's the first time the punter for the Colts has ever been talked about in the history of anything, okay?
Yeah.
So everybody's just bashing me. One of my teammates is like, you should start tweeting. Or I didn't even want to do, I liked the anonymity. I liked walking into a bar looking like a little pudgy frat boy with one of my parents' credit card and just buying hundreds of shots for people, then leaving and having nothing to do with it, okay?
Right.
But at that exact morning when I got arrested, my mugshot was plastered all over Indianapolis, like 2,000-3,000 times, because it was just bye week and everybody was like, listen to this. Hammered drunk punter of the Colts, and then you have my mugshot pop up. I became an instant local celebrity overnight.
Right.
Okay? Instant. So I start tweeting. I start talking. Bob and Tom is a local radio show. It's syndicated on 170 stations across America. They asked me to come in because they like my tweets. I start talking. stand-up comedians start coming into the show. I start talking to them. I'm like, these dudes are not funny. Like, if these guys are making millions of dollars doing stand-up,
Right.
this guy right here is making millions of dollars doing stand-up. I won't say his name,
Right.
but there was one particular guy who I'll end up writing like in a book one day that's like, I met this guy and I thought he was terrible. And he was a million, huh? No, I never met him. It'd be cool if I did. There was another guy. So I start doing stand-up comedy. I enjoy it. My Twitter starts going, bing, bang, boom. Everything starts happening. My big nose and my blonde hair have a similarity to Triple H. So a lot of people start, after my Twitter follower starts growing after all this, start tweeting at Triple H.
Right.
Like tweeting at him a lot. Like, hey, here's your like pudgy drunk son. Here's your pudgy drunk son. And then it just started building and building and building and building. And then when WWE started building out like the recruiters, they have like WWE, NFL recruiters and shit like that. A guy reached out to me. I was getting surgery on my knee and retiring. They said, we'll keep in touch. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Michael Cole sends me a text. And he's like, hey, Pat, this is Michael Cole from WWE. Don't know if you know me. I'm like, yeah, I fucking know you, Michael Cole. Yeah, is this? I screenshotted an internet picture of him. I Google imaged it, screenshotted it. I sent it. This Michael Cole? And he was like, yeah, that's me. I was like, terrible suit, but I know who you are. I know who you are. And he's just been the coolest guy.
He's amazing, isn't he?
Corey Graves said it earlier, and I'm happy it happened. But Michael Cole is the coolest guy of all time. When I retired, CBS said no to me because they didn't like that I talked to adults about adults stuff.
Right.
NFL Network, everybody said no to me. Barstool was the only people that picked me up. So, like, yeah, Barstool was the only people that let me do it. So Michael Cole being like, yeah, man, like, we would love to have you. And I'm like, I actually said, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, you just can't swear. I'm like, I will try. And I started a swear jar from my first NXT thing. I raised $13,000.
That's
$13,000.
I mean, usually a swear jar is like $7, $13.
We remodeled a guy's house in Indiana. That's a true story. That's a
amazing.
true story. Yeah.
That's
true.
amazing.
So Michael Cole has just been the absolute man, and now I'm here, and it's really awesome.
Now, have you at all settled in? Because, you know, I've spent a lot of time with you, especially WrestleMania weekend is your first weekend.
Where's the bread?
Right.
That's Goldberg, by
That's
the
what I
way.
was going to say.
Right over my goddamn head.
We go into catering. I show you where catering is.
It's my
This is where-
first time.
And you go, Sam, it's Goldberg behind us. Goldberg's here, Sam.
He's right behind us. Pissed off like he always is.
That's just Goldberg.
Right here. Like, you're going in the Hall of Fame. Like, hey,
Right.
You're going in a good... Congratulations, you know? No, pissed off. And then he asked where the goddamn bread is right behind our head. And I was like, Sam, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. I had a turkey sandwich. I'm going to get on my way. Catering, though, is a beautiful thing.
It's amazing.
Oh, my God.
It's amazing.
It is real. It is legit.
Yeah. Lots of all the food you can eat.
Sam eats Lucky Charms.
I have my
It's
rituals.
wild.
But not until after the show. Every time, after every show,
Dude, it's
I have
really
my
cute.
cereal.
It's really cute.
That's what I like to do. That's my ritual. That's what I like to do. I sometimes don't eat as much as I should before the show because I don't do that. And then after the show, I go and I have my Lucky Charms and then go about the night, go about the evening.
Sam is the greatest co-host in the history of the world, by the way.
Oh, come on.
And when I say that, I mean it.
Oh, come on, Pat.
I've heard nothing but horror stories about the WWE my entire life from like jaded wrestlers. They're like, oh, they'll kill you in there. Like, yeah, everybody's out to screw everybody. Like, you got absolutely no chance in there. So my first time going in there in WrestleMania, I was like, well, none of these people are going to be my friend, but I'm going to have a good time here. At least I'm just going to have a laugh here or two, see what happens. And then Sam Roberts is the guy that I'm teamed up with, obviously, with Charlie Caruso, who does an incredible job.
Incredible.
And Sam just like walked next to me the entire time. He tied my tie for me. He was like literally, I can't tie a tie, by the way. That's rough.
Listen, I got to tell you something, Pat. That a lot of people think I'm just some asshole. You're really ruining my credibility. They're going to find out.
And I would bring things up during the day, like just an open conversation, and then we would get to the show, and I would forget to say it. And Sam would like cut off Charlie and like ask a question like, hey, dumbass, you remember what you said about blah, blah, blah? That's basically what he would say in a question. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I forgot. Aleister Black, this week I would have like a full quote, and it literally wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for your big brain, Sam.
Yeah, but you're also pretty brilliant. I mean, there's little things, and you can see it. We'll be doing.
This is good. This is good. We're gonna tickle each other's taints here.
The two of us together, we're gonna do it. The two of us together will be on the Takeover pre-show.
Yeah.
This Saturday night
the
on
best
the WWE
pre-show
Network.
in WWE.
Free for new subscribers. As Pat McAfee once said, they're giving away the company.
Yeah, bad decisions. A lot of good decisions have been made in the history of WWE. Just giving away the company is a bad one. We need to take advantage of it.
But, you know, at the risk of, I only pull back the curtain because all of you, I appreciate you all so much for coming out to the 200th show, and I can't believe what we've created with this thing. So I'm going to tell you this thing that I would never, ever, because I don't like to pull back the curtain, Pat. It's not my thing, but I'm going to tell him. It's something, this is Pat's brilliance. He knows exactly where I'm going every time. We've done 3 shows together. Every time he knows. He said something about Aleister Black having tattoos on his legs, and he wanted
on his kneecap.
Right, and he wanted to make some very McAfeean statement about how tough Aleister Black is because he's got tattoos on his knees. So he had obviously forgotten his thing.
I completely
And
agree.
I go, hey, Pat, as an athlete, what do you think the pain threshold that Aleister Black has? Like, is he going to be able to compete with Lars Sullivan?
Exactly.
And instantly, pain threshold, he goes, the dude has tattoos on his kneecaps. He knew exactly why I asked him the question. And he nailed it.
But while you were asking the question in my head, I was like, oh, Sam remembered one of my punchlines. That's very rough for me to look in the mirror tonight. But I did. You just set me up. I've never been around a human like you. That's like just like a Stockton. It's like a Stockton just ready to get it going.
You know what I have to do one time now just to really throw you for a loop and see your reaction on live TV? Yeah. Steal one of your punchlines. Like when
I got enough of them. There'll be another one that'll come.
That's
the
true.
ADD brain will think of something,
That's
and you
true.
would probably deliver it better than me anyway,
Oh, come on.
Sam.
Oh, come on. Oh, look at this. Look at this love fest.
You didn't
that's
think I was
going
going to
on.
be able to do that.
Look at you. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, from 205 Live, Vic Joseph. What a guy. You know, you do. You hear these horror stories where you're out, and I don't know if they just treat us nice or something, but you hear these horror stories about WWE, and then you get there, and you got guys like Vic Joseph that show up to your show. It's like family, man, and everybody is like happy to be there. They treat you so nice. It's amazing.
I've never been a part of a situation like WWE that is so hospitable. I'm
Right.
being serious when I say. Now, granted, they fly me coach middle seat.
Look, they're a business first, okay? They're not spending extra money where they
Coach
don't
middle
have to.
seat. That was a 6 email interchange that I had with Michael Cole and the travel coordinator for the WWE. I was like, can you just cancel the flight? Like, I'll just get my own. And Michael Cole was like, you're not doing that, you idiot. I'm like, yes, I'm not sitting middle. And then the lady would chime in like, we can probably get you to an aisle seat. I'm like, that's good. And Michael Cole's like, no, just take the middle seat. And it's like a chain. It's an absolute chain.
Yeah.
It's a wild thing. But everything else, incredible people. I'm being serious when I say that. I did not expect everybody to be so nice, which they are. And it's a really cool thing, actually.
Yeah, I've never had a 6 email chain about flights because after I've been doing
You're
WWE.
5'4", like 122 pounds.
Yeah, but I'm also of the mentality of like, you mean I can really go to the show still? I can go?
Yeah, not me. I'm at the point like I'd rather just get myself there. That's what I keep saying. Is like just let me get myself there.
Right.
And they're like, no. Michael Cole basically texted me and called me like a child. Like, we're trying to buy your fucking flight, Pat. Like, will you just chill out for a second? I'm like,
By
that's
the-
on me, Michael.
There is question about the degree to which Pat McAfee is an actual wrestling fan. And I mean, I think if you watch the TakeOver shows, you can see he's an actual wrestling fan. But what you might not know is one of the irresponsible purchases that Pat McAfee made. And I don't know how many of you know this. You know this, where I'm going? One of the irresponsible purchases that he made, he woke up one morning. Yeah. He found a truck outside of his house. The
18-wheeler.
18-wheeler.
Yep.
Truck driver gets out. He's like, are you Pat? Yeah, of course I'm Pat McAfee. Like, you don't know. The truck driver
That's
says...
not what I said, by the way. Sam has said that like twice.
He goes, I'm the greatest punter of all time.
That did not happen.
Yeah.
It's the greatest ball kicker of all time.
And Pat goes, yeah, I mean, I'll sign for it, but what is this? And he goes, it's your wrestling ring. And Pat goes, what? And he goes, well, you bought this wrestling ring online. And Pat, at his house, has a wrestling ring.
Yeah, currently, yeah. Yeah, I do. It's
Do you use it?
It's a little stiff, tell you that. Apparently, drunk me buys like various bad rings, because that thing got here and it's like this stage right here. I was not the right person to have money. I mean, we talked about it earlier. I spent $310,000 in one off season. And that's just like I know you're supposed to be like super smart with it and all that stuff.
With money, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. You're supposed to be, but it's very difficult not to just buy very hilarious things.
Right.
If you have I was grossly overpaid in my last profession. Grossly. I got my parents out of debt. I got my dad out of his job. I got my friends out of debt. I got everybody out of debt. And then I'm just sitting there staring at a bank account. Hey, Vic, chill out over there. So then I'm staring at a bank account, and I'm like, well, I'm a single guy. I haven't accidentally made any kids yet. I'm not married. We might as well have a good time with this. And I found the internet. You can buy a lot of things. and I found a wrestling ring, and that thing got delivered to me 3 months later, and I had no clue who it was. And on the receipt, it actually said, Pat motherfucking McAfee. And I was like, man, I must have been so blacked out when I bought that. I didn't remember it at all, and that was the name I put in. The guy didn't put it together, so I was just sitting with a bunch of plywood in my barn with like turnbuckles and shit for like a year or so, and then it got put together. And I'll tell you what, real crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
Real crowd pleaser.
What's a conversation starter? Some people use like a weird picture book on a coffee table.
Yeah.
You got a wrestling ring that Pat motherfucking McAfee bought when he was blackout drunk.
Yep, and it's in the barn of bad decisions right next to these two goats from Australia. Turns out those are only $200. Delivery from Australia, $7,500. And an aquatic vehicle that is missing its plug. So that shit don't float. So that's just a vehicle. That's what that is.
Just a vehicle.
Just a vehicle. It's an 8-wheeler, though. It's pretty nice.
Well, Pat, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you making the trip out for this.
Thanks, man.
And being a part of this show.
Thank you, man.
I honestly, I hope you guys understand how much it means to me that all you guys would show up to this show. I'm not, this podcast isn't on any network. This podcast isn't, it's me in a basement talking about wrestling.
The
studio.
Oh, Sam
And then
Roberts told me I have to come stop by the studio sometime.
Yes.
Like, where's the studio? Is it in my basement?
Yeah, Westchester. We just say Westchester. Who wants to see Pat McAfee in the Notsam studio?
Yeah, I would like to come into your basement. I'd like
Yes.
to come into your basement.
Yes, definitely. Did you guys enjoy it? Good. Good. I really appreciate you all being here. Be kind to your waiters and waitresses. Thank you for being a part of Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast, becoming Notsam Wrestling. I'm excited for the future because of all you guys. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you all so much.
Can we get a congratulations, Sam, round of applause for 200 fucking...
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Follow at Notsam on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Rate, review, and subscribe. This has been Notsam Wrestling.
Thanks for listening to the show today, guys, and thank you to Ageless Male Max for making it possible and for bringing the men of this country back to greatness. Their patent-pending formula helps boost your total testosterone, promoting greater increases in muscle size and twice the reduction in body fat percentage than exercise alone. Try your first 30-day bottle for free. Just pay shipping and handling when you text the word PRIME to 797979. For your free bottle, text PRIME, P-R-I-M-E, to 797979. Message and data rates may apply.